大学生に混じって私大学生に見えてるでしょうか。絶対無理ですね。
wanted to do this job because I was like so excited to be on the plane. Wasn't good at like I'm still not good at.
はい、皆様こんにちは、リュウクルーでございます。今実はですね、また大阪に帰ってきておりまして、今日は今から京都に行きます。というのもですね、今回京都外国語大学という大学があるんですけども、今日実はそちらの授業に参加させていただくことになっております。しかも英語で、結構緊張。とにかく今日はその様子をお届けしたいと思います。で、今回日本帰ってきてのこの大学で授業させていただくのと、もう一つは、イオンモール成田さん、成田空港近くにあるイオンモールさんの成田空港の開港イベントで、そちらでもちょっとイベントをさせていただきますので、イベント言ってますけどもね、それもあって帰ってきておりますが、今回この日本滞在 Vlog 的な形でお送りしたいと思います。それではとりあえず京都行ってきます。緊張してます。
さあ京都に行くならやっぱり京阪のプレミアムカーでしょうということで、こちら500円で乗れる指定席なんですけど、これ登場した時にもう絶対500円なんか余計に払わんでと思ったけどね、めっちゃ快適です。人生で初めて講義みたいなものをさせていただく、そしてさらに英語やということでですね、ちょっと授業用の資料も事前に作ってみましたけれども、ただ伝えたいことが全然まとまらず、ちょっと支離滅裂になっております。大阪からですね、だいたい祇園市場まで50分ぐらいの乗車でございます。で、今週末成田でのイベントがあるということでね、実はまだ成田行きの飛行機とホテル取ってないので、この移動の時間を使って取ります。で、最近はホテルの予約も航空券の予約もスカイスキャナーのアプリによくお世話になっております。以前はスカイスキャナーって聞くと航空券のイメージ強かったんですけど、こちらホテルもお得に予約することができます。航空券用のアプリ、ホテル予約用のアプリとか、いろいろダウンロードしがちなんですけど、携帯いっぱいになるしややこしになるんで、このスカイスキャナーのアプリだったら1個で両方完結できます。ということで宿泊するホテル、大体目処が立ちましたね。こちら予約するのと、あとはですね、航空券もついでに予約しておきました。よく旅行に行かれる方、出張に行かれる方など、こちら便利なスカイスキャナーのアプリおすすめでございます。阪急お上品。さあここからは日頃あまり乗ることのない阪急電車で西院に向かいます。分かったような顔して歩いてますけれども、あることに気づきます。
今私阪急の京都河原町駅いるんですよ。あんまり阪急で京都来ることないんで、こっからね、河原町って終点なんです、阪急の京都線の。で、西っていう西院の駅に行きたかったんですよ。でも、なんか、全部電車がね、大阪梅田行きって書いてるから、なんで大阪ちゃうよね、京都の方行かなあかんかなと思って、電車逃したんですけど、よく考えたらここ終点やから、全部大阪梅田行きなんですよ。それ乗って、西院で降りなあかんのに、何言ってるか意味わかんないと思うんですけど、大阪から来たのに大阪梅田行きに乗るのが変な感じがして乗ってなかったら、その電車でよかったんですよ。よく考えたら。ここ終点やから。はい。アホなことしました。一本乗りまし、過ごしました。はい。
ちなみに阪急の駅は西院。ただ蘭電は同じ漢字でも西です。で、この西院もしくは西、どっちも言いにくいんですけど、ここからバス乗って京都外大前へ向かいます。
はい、ということで無事到着いたしました。京都外国語大学京都外大でございます。初めて来ました。今日はですね、もう本当にいろんな話何でもしてくださいって言っていただいてるんですけど、何の話しよう。ということでございまして、日本語でもむちゃくちゃ言うてるのに、ちょっと英語でね、話まとめれるか不安なんですが、学生さんとね、私もつい最近まで学生でしたけど、でも、ほんまの今のガチの学生さんとね、お話しさせていただけるなんてあんまないので楽しみに、行っていきたいと思います。すごく立派な大学でございます。京都でもね、この辺は、わりかし中心部から近い、山陰からですね、バスで3個ぐらいバスで過ぎたんかなぐらいの場所でございます。大学生に混じって私大学生に見えてるでしょうか。絶対無理ですね。できる限り頑張りたいと思います。
はい、ということで今回は珍しくここから全部私の支離滅裂な英語になります。一応字幕はつけてあるんですけれども、関西弁CA と名乗っておきながら今回ちょっと関西弁ではなくて本当に申し訳ございません。
Anyone just want to share where you guys are from? Brazil. Whereabouts Brazil? São Paulo. So you took like 3 flights or 4 flights to get to here. Okay. For some Japanese students, you want to share Kyoto? Wakayama. I used to go to the university in Kyoto as well. Not this one, but somewhere. I don't want to say which one, but I used to go university in Kyoto. That's like 13, 14 years ago. So I'm from Osaka, Japan, but I currently live in Vancouver, Canada. And I am a flight attendant for Canadian Airlines. I've been working there for 10 years almost. But before moved to Canada, I was a flight attendant for Japanese Airlines as well, just for a year. But it's also like a lot of different like cultural differences between like Japanese Airlines and Canadian Airlines. Obviously, I will talk about this later as well. And I don't want to call myself YouTuber, but during the COVID, it's 5 years ago almost, I guess, like time flies. 5 years ago, I started posting some videos on YouTube. I didn't expect like my channel gonna be so big. Now I have like 310,000 subscribers. I didn't expect that 5 years ago, but during the COVID, a lot of people couldn't fly or couldn't go anywhere. They had to stay home, but luckily my job accepted me to fly internationally, so I film wherever I go for my work. I film and then post it and people liked it. And last 2 years I published 2 books which about my job, my daily life, kind of stuff. And my personal side, I have a Canadian partner and I have a Shiba Inu, lovely doggy. I wanted to be a flight attendant for a long time. When I was a kid, I flew on JAL and went to Guam. I still remember. My family wasn't like rich or anything, just like single mom. I had a grandma, but yeah, wasn't so rich, right? So first time I flew when I was like 5 or 4 years old. Like airplane was like kind of totally different world from the world I live usually, right? So it's like so special. So can I ask you guys like what kind of job or what you want to do in the future you want to share someone after you graduate? Maybe some people try to go to grad school or something, but I think a lot of people try to get a job after, right? It doesn't mean that you will be, but now you're in any job that you're interested right now. Business, like what kind of business? Her business, like you want to do like importing. Usually I get a lot of questions about my job. 4 topics are most common asked questions about training, flight, layover, scheduling. Training is no one really talk about it, but it's actually very important for flight attendant job. A lot of people ask me like how you get your job. You don't need to really have special requirements for flight attendants. For the pilots, different story. You have to go to the school. It will take a long time. But flight attendants, so no special requirements. So you just apply for the airline. But the interview, obviously, like 3-4 steps of interview, like group activities, individual interviews, group interview, group activities. Yes, interview is tough, but after the interview, you pass the interview. That doesn't mean that you're gonna be a flight attendant. You have to pass the training, and we call initial training. So you will learn about safeties and services and everything. Some airlines takes like 3-month training. My airline took like 6 weeks training. So like 6 weeks sounds like very short, right? But like every day, exam, actual exam every day, writing and also hands-on exams. And you have to pass each exam. If you fail twice, more than twice, you get fired. It's actually fired, you go home. No job, no pay, nothing. So that's different from school. School you pay, you take exam, you pass or not, you're still paying for it, and then you can still stay at the university. I guess you just maybe stay another year or something. But for the job, if you fail the exam, done. You lose your job. You have to try to get your job, another job later. So it's very serious, right? I saw a lot of like crying classmates actually. Flight, as you know, like we do services mostly, but obviously we are on the plane for safety reasons. So if fire happens, medical situation happens, or like rapid decompression kind of thing happens, we have to know how to deal with it. We have to save people's life. That's our main purpose, right? So on the safety side, Usually people don't see it, but we also ready for it always. Also the flights actually, depends on the flights. Sometimes for domestic flights, we do 4 flights a day. So I'm based in Vancouver, so I usually start flying from Vancouver, and Vancouver to Calgary, it's only like 1 hour flight. So we fly Calgary 1 hour. Like 15 minutes maybe turn around. And again, second flight back to Vancouver, stay there 15 minutes. Again, maybe fly to San Francisco, which is 2 hours flight. Stay there like 50 minutes and come back. So 4 flights a day, that's a max. That's very, very tough. Or sometimes like long flight, like 13 or 12 hours flight. For example, like from Canada to Tokyo, Narita is like 10, 11 hours. So it always depends. And layover, that's kind of the most fun part of this job. Same as the flights. Like sometimes like only 10 hours layover. You get to the hotel, sleep, next day just leave. But if the lucky one is like 5 days layover, 4 days layover. So when our airline just started flying to Tokyo 3-4 years ago, now we fly every day to Tokyo, but when we started, only 3 flights a week, which means like we have like 3 days layover in Tokyo. And then layover is still like part of the job, but it's free. You can do anything you want. Well, some limitations as well, like you can really drink 12 hours before the flight kind of stuff. But other than that, you can actually do anything. You can go shopping, you can go karaoke, whatever. I took my Canadian crew to karaoke and then like Japanese izakaya every time actually. It's a very fun part of the job. So for the long flight, we have to work like 12 hours, but we don't really work non-stop 12 hours. We have a break. And some people might know, but big airplane has a secret area regular passenger will never see. We can really share where it is, but this kind of secret area, and we have like 8 beds. So flight attendants can lie down and sleep, like depends on the flight, but usually 2 to 4 hours you can actually lie down and take a rest during the flight. I think I faced 3 difficulties doing my job in Canada. First, language. So my first language is obviously Japanese, actually Kansai dialect. So working in Canada, I have to use my second language, English. As you hear, my English is not perfect, my grammar is broken, but it doesn't really matter. Your English has to be perfect. You cannot have accent. You have to act like Canadian. It's not true. As long as the person understands what I'm saying, that's the whole thing. But it took so long to realize that. So when I moved to Canada, I was really ashamed and embarrassed to speak English publicly. As a job, I have to make an announcement, ladies and gentlemen, kind of stuff, right? I really hate to do that because whole passengers like listening to my English, Japanese accent English so loudly broadcasted in the cabin. That made me very nervous. So it took like maybe 3-4 years to realize like accent doesn't matter. I just can be myself. I just speak my Japanese accent because I'm Japanese. I'm proud of it. This is my background, right? I got some guests criticizing my English sometimes. I was really shocked and I was really sad when I heard that. I don't really say that to the customer, but I just tell myself in my heart, do you actually speak a different language? If you judge someone's English, do you speak another language? Do you speak my language anyway? Do you speak Japanese? No. Then don't judge someone's language, right? One more hard thing I faced was sleeping hours. As I said, some flights leaves like 3 a.m. in the morning, some flights leaves like 11 p.m. and then always time differences and then also temperatures are different. First day you might be in tropical place like Hawaii and next day you might be in like Yellowknife, which is Canada. So it's very tough. It's so hard on your body. But my company has a lot of guys working there for like many years, like in the airline industry. They're still enjoying it, but sometimes very hard. What does the feeling like on the sky every day? It just becomes normal because it's just my office, right? The same thing. You come to school every day, same feeling. Oh, again. Sometimes you don't want to come. Rainy day, you don't want to come. Same thing. Like I wanted to do this job because I was like so excited to be on the plane, but after 2-3 years, it just becomes normal. Sometimes you see beautiful sunrise, sunset, that makes me very like, oh, I'm so glad I'm doing this job. Through your life in Canada, is there any cultural differences or surprises from Japan? My culture shock in Canada, there are lots, but one thing was about feet. in Japanese culture, kind of, as you know, we have to take off our shoes, and our house entrance is like designated entrance. You have to take off your shoes there, or even the store, izakaya. Sometimes you have to take off your shoes. In Canada, obviously, it won't happen. Well, a lot of Canadian people take off their shoes at home because, especially Vancouver, rainy, or some Canadian cities are snowy, so shoes getting very wet or dirty, right? So they want to take off shoes, but you just open the door, you just walk to the kitchen with the shoes, and then before you enter into the carpet area or bedroom, you just take off your shoes anywhere in the house. And for my job side, we walk through the cabin, like we walk through the aisle in the cabin. We see the baggage disturbing the aisle. We have to kind of push their back into their location, right, under the seat or their row. Maybe for Japanese or Asian airlines, they usually use their hands to push their bags. But a lot of North American companies, they just use their feet to push their bags. So let's talk about YouTube. I started YouTube 5 years ago during the COVID. My flight got cancelled like February in 2020. I still remember the day. I supposed to fly to Hawaii. I was a cabin manager that day for the flight. So I kind of waiting for the airport staff to call me. They are ready to, send the passengers. But I didn't get a call for a long time. And like, what's going on? Like, no one come down to the plane. So I went up to the gate and I saw like tons of crying people, tons of like panicking people. Like, airport was chaos. And we knew after, like, the Canadian government decided all the travelers have to have a COVID test or self-quarantine. You have to stay home after you come back to Canada. Just government announced that moment, that day. So 175 passengers supposed to be on that flight. But after the announcement, we still departed to Hawaii, but end up with 6 passengers. That was a really shocking moment. After that, maybe in 2 weeks, all flights got cancelled. All the flight attendants lost the flight, so we had to stay home. After I lost my flights, have nothing to do. I didn't have any hobbies. I didn't really try to get the attention from a lot of people. I just filmed one video and posted. But even that kind of whatever video, some people actually watch and then left a comment. That really made me excited. And now 5 years later, 310,000 subscribers, which I never expected, obviously. So let's talk about to be yourself. To be yourself doesn't mean like being selfish, I think. To be yourself or to understand yourself, you have to know your identity. I keep talking about like cultures and language and stuff. When I moved to Canada, a lot of people ask about Japan because I'm from here. But I didn't really know about Japan. Can you really tell anyone like, oh, what's your population, your hometown population? Can you say? It's so hard, right? I got a lot of questions but I couldn't answer. And a lot of people are interested in like Japanese culture sometimes, like ikebana, sumo. But I don't even know the rules because I don't really play that and I wasn't interested. To understand someone's culture or to be yourself, you actually have to know your identity, culture and everything. You don't really need to know everything, but you should maybe at least like pay attention to it and be ready if someone asks you. Thank you for having me today. I don't know, and thank you so much for having me. It was very fun. Thank you.
終わりました。お疲れ様でございました。すいません。もう何を尻滅裂なことしか言うとおりませんでしたけれども。いや。そん言わしたみたいになってますもん。これで、美味しく食べれますわ。やっぱ緊張してたんで。学食なんてもう10年ぶりですわ。ボリュームがすごい。キャベツの量すごくないですか？このキャベツが高い時期に。ありがたい。さあ、そしてこちら実際の岡本太郎さんの作品でございます。
目と目ということで、今回は本当に私の人生にとってもめちゃくちゃ貴重な体験をさせていただきました。
私の支離滅裂な話に付き合ってくださった学生の皆さん、ほんまにありがとうございました。
ということで本日も長い動画でございましたが、最後までご覧いただきまして誠にありがとうございました。それではまた次回の動画ですぐお会いしましょう。さよなら、バイバイ。